Hello again, I am Blunt. I've made several videos about Monster Hunter World recently and its re-rise to popularity, which it's exceeded my expectations again. In a video a few days ago I said, hey, it'll hit 150,000 concurrent players within a week or two. It's done it within 3 days of that prediction. Did it overnight, so amazing. But we're heading towards the 20th anniversary of Monster Hunter. We're only about 3 months away from the actual 20th anniversary date. And now that we're in 2024, Capcom have started the push for promoting the celebrations around that. We still don't know exactly what is going to happen. Is it going to be kind of a disappointment? Are we going to get a surprise announcement of a up-resed remaster remake of Monster Hunter 4U, but on PC and the big consoles because you can't play on 3DS anymore because Nintendo shut down the eShop? And it's probably not that, but wouldn't that be interesting? And overnight on social media, Rojo Sugimoto, I think I pronounced his name right, I should have double-checked before I started recording, put out a little video message, a couple of minutes long, saying, hey, welcome to the celebrations, we're really excited about it, and sort of delivering no real information of use whatsoever. I was kind of disappointed by it. It's nice to see him be awkward on camera, because he is extremely awkward on camera, but there was nothing of note from that announcement besides, hey, are you still paying attention? But slightly more interestingly, MSI have also come to the party today as well, taking the wraps off their tie-in limited edition hardware. And we knew this was coming, and it's not the first time Capcom and MSI have worked together on Monster Hunter. They did it with Iceborne and World. They did it with Rise also, slightly more recently. But let's take a look on what is actually on offer. I've got the MSI site open up over here. MSI 20th anniversary, standard artwork that Capcom are using. And there are some questions that this artwork has been raising, but this is not the video to dive into that because it's mostly just guesswork and conjecture and, oh, what does this mean? Oh, what if it means this? Which is interesting, but not all that useful, really. So we scroll down. To celebrate the 20th anniversary of Monster Hunter, MSI has joined forces with Capcom to create the Monster Hunter Limited Edition PC products inspired by Rathalos, because, of course, Rathalos being the flagship monster. Some Monster Hunter long-termers are a bit bored of Rathalos at this point. I still kind of like Rathalos, but give someone else a spotlight for a while. Fans will be immersed in a world filled with adventure, just like hunters who slay challenging monsters as milestones. I feel like that one was lost in translation a little bit. That's a very weird sentence. This collaboration with Capcom will deliver both MSI products' premium quality and extreme performance to Monster Hunter fans. Let's celebrate this significant moment and embark on an adventure together. So, what is actually on offer is a range of MSI products. There's nothing new here. This is all rebadged stuff from existing product lines with just some Monster Hunter artwork silk screened on, basically, which is not necessarily a bad thing because, well, you can just look up the reviews or whatnot of the existing, non-branded Monster Hunter branded products and see if they're any good and worth owning. Short story is most of this stuff should be pretty damn good. So we've got a gaming notebook, which is the Crosshair 16HX Monster Hunter Edition. I haven't looked at these notebooks. I've looked at earlier members in the family a few years back. I did a lot of work with MSI, collaborating with them and sponsored by them for a while as well. I like their products just fine. Their laptops are pretty damn good. The keyboards are nice. The screens tend to be nice. They're a little on the chunkier side, so they're not highly portable, but they're designed for gaming, which you might prefer anyway. Next up, we've got the graphics card here, the GeForce RTX 4060 Ti, which, I'm not sure how I feel about this. The 4060 Ti is it's a great card. It's gonna last you for years and years and years. The number 60 series of cards is always the best bet for NVIDIA cards. They tend to be sort of the sweet spot right in the middle of the range there, and they have very long lifespans, but rumors are rumbling that we are just about to get the Super series of cards to replace the existing 4000 series cards, or step up from them at least. Mild upgrades, including more memory and things like that. So while by no means is the 4060 Ti going to be instantly sort of useless just because something slightly better comes out, it is confusing to see that this is. I mean, maybe once the Super series actually gets announced, there'll be an addition to this on top. They'll do a Super one as well, but seems weird to sort of half-ass it. But yeah, it's a 4060 Ti. It'll be fine. And also a bit weird that they went with the slim model as well, not one of the bigger, chunkier ones. I prefer chunkier graphics cards just for the sake of more chunk means more cooling, basically. Just more metal to pull the heat away from the graphics card, but I'm sure it's fine. When it comes to the motherboard here, click. website's being a little sluggish. The MPG Z790 Edge Monster Hunter Edition. This is an Intel-based chipset motherboard. And it has been what you might call a hot minute since I've actually run an Intel CPU in anything. AMD have just been smacking the absolute lunch out of Intel's mouth for a few years now as far as gaming stuff goes. Not to say Intel is garbage or anything, it's just AMD tend to be a little bit better and a little bit bigger bang for buck, generally speaking. The funny thing about this, though, is the OG version of this motherboard with the Monster Hunter stuff, I think, looks really, really slick. The 20th anniversary branding on this, I don't know who designed it, but there's no flow to it. I mean, look at it, it's just little patches of Monster Hunter stuff. I don't love how this looks. It might look better when it's in a full build, and if there's anybody from MSI watching, I'll have one of each. We'll talk. You can, we'll do a full Monster Hunter build or something. Yeah, just looking at the press shots here. Yeah, gaming monitor next. These I'm a bit wibbly on because the only place you can put any significant branding on a monitor is the part of the monitor you don't look at, and very, very often for a lot of people is facing the wall. So it's ticking off all the really nice little checkboxes for a gaming monitor. Fast IPS, 180 Hz, 1440p, just a really nice sweet spot gaming monitor. But again, all the interesting Monster Hunter stuff is on the back. You don't see it. You might see a bit of the stem, but both of my monitors are on a monitor arm, so I can clear more desk space. And so yeah, the pedestal and the stem, I wouldn't even see it. So. Liquid cooling, the Mag Core Liquid E360, just a pretty stock standard all-in-one cooler. Every brand has one of these days. They tend to be quite adequate most of the time. But yeah, a little Monster Hunter branding on the top of the pump head, which is still nice, and it's going to go well with your MSI motherboard and MSI graphics card. I don't know whether I would buy this just on its own. Just, if you want just one of these products, would you buy the cooler? I don't think so. The gaming case might be more interesting to a lot more people, though. This is based on the MPG Gungnir. How do you pronounce that, MSI? No freaking idea. I'm going to say Gungnir because it sounds exotic. But I have seen this case in person, in builds on show floors and stuff like that. And it's a pretty nice looking case. But again, the sort of big flat space they've got for the artwork of Rathalos on the back there, which is just a classic Rathalos image on the side there. That's on the side of the case most people tend to put against the wall, because the other side has the window where you see your components and RGB and stuff like that. So really nice artwork on a side of the case very few people are going to be able to see. In my case, I could see it on my main PC here. It's off to this side because that side of the desk opens out to the rest of the room. So I would see that artwork quite often if I used that there. My gaming rig, which sits against the wall. I would never see that artwork there. So, and last but not least, the controller, the Force GC30 Monster Hunter Edition. I have not used an MSI branded controller in many, many years. I had one once upon a time. I decided not to review it because it was decided kind of average. There was nothing special about it. It was fine. It was an controller, and it did controller-y things. But as far as trying to make a video out of it, saying, hey, here's why you would want one of these, there's no real reason. I mean, if you get one as part of a package of MSI stuff, I'm sure it'll serve you quite well. I don't know why anyone would buy one of the base models when there's so much more else out there, especially considering it doesn't even do things like the Hall effect sticks or triggers or anything like that. It's just a very, very stock standard controller. But it is Monster Hunter branded, and it's got some fairly nice Monster Hunter branding, although, where is it? The Monster Hunter Rise Nintendo Switch Pro controller is one of my favorite product tie-in branded controllers of all time. I think it's really quite pretty. Yeah, I think this is a prettier controller than that particular one. Maybe I might like it better if the Rathalos was gold, because they've got other gold highlights on there, and the 20th anniversary logo is gold, and they've got the gold D-pad on there. Why wouldn't you make the Rathalos gold as well? I am mildly surprised not to see a version of one of MSI's little ITX rigs here as well. I think they did one for Rise, if memory serves. If they did, I'll put a picture of it here. Looks pretty good, right? Also, mildly surprised to see no keyboard and mouse, because those are sort of usually part and parcel of these things as well. What's going to be really interesting, however, is, I don't know whether I'm going to make a video about this yet, because it's an unofficial thing so far. The proper announcement's coming soon, but there have been leaks already about MSI's handheld gaming device in the line of the Steam Deck or the ROG Ally or the Legion Go. I've told you, people, that a bunch of companies were going to start doing these, including MSI. I predicted MSI. What I didn't predict is apparently it's running on Intel chip and Intel Arc graphics. So that could be very, very interesting. It sets it apart from the other ones, which are mostly using AMD's chipsets and things like that. Lenovo Legion Go and the ROG Ally essentially use the same exact chipset hardware inside them. Different other ways, like the screen stuff. But yeah, it's going to be real interesting to see what MSI do with this. And what if they make a Monster Hunter tie-in one? That would be extremily tempting. But then again, it might be kind of embarrassing if they did that and then the device itself wasn't quite good enough to run Monster Hunter Wilds when it comes out next year. Because Monster Hunter World works fine on current hardware. In fact, I did a video recently about that if you're curious. But yeah, wouldn't that be funny? If they did a Monster Hunter Special Edition handheld gaming thing and Wilds just doesn't run well on it because Arc graphics don't have the best reputation. Anyway, thank you for watching. I am Blunty. We'll catch you next time. Hopefully you found this mildly interesting. I did. I like looking at these collector's edition stuff. So is there something there that I want? I don't know. The case, maybe. A graphics card. I mean, you know, the GPU I already run is much, much better than a 4060, but still, there's always use for a 60 series NVIDIA graphics card. Thank you to the patrons scrolling up above there. I am Blunty. I'll catch you next time.